everybody. Porta Nigra is a brand new German board game about the famous Porta Nigra. And in this game you'll be reliving his greatest horses. Just give me a minute. Wikipedia, Porta Nigra, UNESCO World Heritage. Porta Nigra is a game about building the famous German city of Augusta Treverorum, so named after the famous Porta Nigra or Black Gate, so named due to being built from the city's famous grey sandstone. And you and your friends will be racing to get bricks and build monuments, all while enjoying the city's balmy rainfall of an average 51mm a month. In case you haven't guessed by the victory point track running around the board, this is a Euro game, the esteemed genre of board games that only let players compete without ever directly coming into conflict, which isn't to say you won't be undermining and rubbing up against each other like a pack of horny moles.
The core of this game, like so many of its peers, is basically passive aggression. The way Roman architecture works is first come, first served. There's all kinds of spots all across this board that you can build on, but you claim them first, then you just have them forever. It's basically a game about those petty victories that you start to aim for when you become an adult, like grabbing the best parking spot before anyone else, or just claiming the best sun lounges when you're on holiday before anyone else, or jumping the queue at the post office so you can get to the person who stamps the thing before anyone else. Why not? There's all sorts of spots on here that not only give you points when you build a thing, but give you additional points if you build the nicest thing, or if you build the tallest thing, or if you build the most things in a row anywhere around here, except for where the wall is, or the Basilica of the what?
Constantine.
The what?
How do you not know about the Basilica of Constantine? It's famous.
All that. And there's also extra points to be had by claiming
I just put the yellow things back in the bag. Keep
Why?
going.
Why have you done that?
I don't know!
There's extra points to be had by, this happens all the time, by claiming sets of these cards that have bonuses on, where if you build something with a certain colour of brick, which we'll come to in a moment, in a certain place you get that bonus. I got it out. It's fine.
Basically,
I tell you what.
Go on.
As long as you do something constructive,
hey!
you get points. I'm really sorry.
No, it's fine. And basically, what this game does immediately is give you a huge, big objective on the horizon, like the famous Colosseum in the city of Augusta Treverorum.
Was there I thought that was in Rome.
Which is famous. And then that means that immediately when this game begins, you can turn one, buy some brick, build a thing, get some victory points. That's a lovely, wonderful thing to aim for. And you're going to be riding through this forest of rules, having a great time, and then rules branch is going to clothesline you and you'll fall off your horse. Here are some of Porta Nigra's porta problems.
Wait, no, you can't say porta problems, because that sounds like problems that you have in a porta potty. That's a bad place to have a problem.
It's kind of the best place to have a problem. Because you can run away.
Not necessarily.
You can
depending
destroy
on what
it.
the problem is.
You can destroy it afterwards.
They're like TARDISes, you can't destroy them. They're made out of that plastic that doesn't bend, or you'd have to burn it.
No one's going to miss it.
You'd have to burn your problem.
Your adventure begins at the brick market, which is cool because look, you're going to buy some blue bricks for money, and then you're going to house them in your little brick stables. You're going to keep them fed and watered, and then you're going to deploy them in a big stack, boom, and you're going to get a load of nice victory points for your brick. And you've started filling the board with stuff.
Can we not call them bricks? Because they're clearly just, look here, it's not bricks. They're stories, or they're columns, or they're arches, but they're clearly not bricks. And there's a few things in the manual like this where I think the terminology could be better.
The other weird thing is that individually all these different things in quadrants are referred to as a building. So this is one building, and that just makes me want to pick up the box and throw it at the wall and become a marine biologist, because if they wanted it to look like a building, why not put the squares together so at least the bricks form one building? But they don't do that. They're always...
look, these are clearly separate buildings, and it's just, I don't understand it.
Anyway, where you've completely... So you're going to be building stuff, and most most Euro games make you wonder how to get a victory point. In Porta Nigra, it's entirely clear, but the first problem you're going to have is that you want to build something that's blue, and then there will be no blue bricks, because you're eating scoundrel friends bought all the blue bricks, and you're going to go, so help me God, when the market refreshes, I'm going to buy all the cheap black bricks before any of you. Because the problem here immediately is that the brick market only refreshes when there are fewer than 7 bricks in it, and it only refreshes on the next player's turn. So you're trying to manage this simple problem when you're trying to strive toward that simple goal.
Next up, money, which is irrelevant until it's not, because moving costs money and everything in the game costs money. Just like in real life, you can only move clockwise all the time around the board, but moving from quadrant to quadrant costs you 1 Roman coin, whatever that is, a cestus, denarii, I don't know, whatever. But moving costs because you're constantly jamming coins in your horse's arse to actually make this coin operating thing move for, I don't know why, you just do, that's what happens. And if you want to pick up a brick of an appropriate colour, just like in real life, you actually have to be physically next to the brick to pick it up. But also, if you want to build a thing in a place, you have to be in the place to supervise the workers building the thing in a place, because as any capitalist knows, if you're not in the right place to watch your workers working, they do nothing because they're lazy. So immediately you've got this puzzle of just being in the right place at the right time, as money constantly bleeds out of your wallet and you go up and down on your horse as if you're on the shittest carousel ever in history, themed around I Claudius or something. And speaking of puzzles,
every 3rd brick you build in a quadrant, so 3, 6, 9, that quadrant vomits up a very specific reward for you. Another example of Porta Nigra's satisfying generosity. But the real puzzle of this game is this deck of cards that every player has. Each turn, you're going to have a hand of just 2. It's a manageable choice, but each of these cards depicts different actions, and the number of torches at the bottom shows what you can do when it comes to managing your Roman car park empire. 3 torches, so maybe you get some money, or you build a thing, or you get a brick. And it's this, what order do you do these things? Which card do you pick? It's this kind of deductive construction.
And just like in real life, it means you just can't simply do anything that you want to. You have to consider contingencies. You have to try and plan ahead, look at your other card. You have to make sure that you have money that you can put in your horse's bum. You have to make sure you have bricks in your basket. You have to make sure that you have Romans to put on top of buildings, because if you actually run out of Romans, you can't construct and claim anything, just like in real life. And if you run out of Romans, you have to get some more. You have to get some more Romans.
The joy of this system is that just as often as players will be taking the brick you want or building it the slot you wanted, due to being hemmed in by these cards, they're going to do stuff that helps you as well. They'll telegraph what they're building so you can outbuild them. They'll refresh the brick queue for you because they have to build bricks these term. There's a very real sense, thank the Lord, that you're playing together, and you will be annoyed by your friends as often as you are grateful for them. The very first time we played, we were actually screaming with joy at some of our friends' actions. That's not something you can often say in a Euro game. I'll tell you what else. These cards with loads of actions that let you do lots on your turn, I think are way less good than these awful cards. These are the best cards in your deck, because everyone has to go through their whole deck before the round ends, and you move on the little round boatman down the river, who's the best component in the game, by the way. These awful cards represent you looking at an awful board state and going, you know what, I'm going to put the brakes on my mad brick extravaganza. I'm going to do almost nothing and force my friends to deal with the board state, to change it for me. I love that. I'll tell you what, ever since 2007 with Agricola, there's been this tendency for some Eurogames to offload a lot of the puzzling onto personal player boards or player state. You're managing your, art gallery or factory or cave of dwarves. And actually, I don't think I like that. I think it's boring compared to really playing with people. I mean, sweetening the spoonful of sawdust at the end of Porta Nigra when you add up everyone's bonuses for cards and who have the most or the tallest of a thing, and you worm your way around this vermicular victory point track, is the fact that at least you're looking over a city that you and your friends have built together.
Focusing everything on the central board gives the game a kind of purity or elegance. It's a moderately elegant game, because then there are scrolls. There are the scrolls.
Mid-review scroll breakdown.
Mid-review scroll breakdown. And the scrolls, they're fine. The scrolls are fine. So arrayed across one side of the board are 14 different cards in a scroll shop. And you can trade in your scroll tokens, 1 to 3 of them, to buy one of the special cards that let you do a thing. And that can be claim an extra brick, or claim a bit more money, or claim torches. I'll get to torches in just a moment. You know, just basically do one extra sort of bonus activity, and it feels a bit
Different?
tacked on.
Yeah, well, maybe not. I mean, it feels like if the cards from before are the brakes, this is kind of enabling you to feather the gas pedal a bit in Porta Nigra. Definitely the game is better with them. It's just not quite as clean.
It's like a sideways step, and it's not an uncomfortable step, it's just a bit unusual.
Much like an
to-
actual sideways step.
Just like in real life.
So
Scrolls are fine. We're
basically,
saying they're fine?
the scrolls in this game are fine.
They're fine.
If you have a problem, scrolls can fix it, or maybe they can't, or you
No.
can do something good. They're fine. Torches are good though.
Yeah, the torches are tiny torch tokens. I can't find one right now. Thank you. And these basically count as extra actions that you can put down on your order card, because you will never have enough tokens or enough torches on that order card to actually do everything on that card, unless you play a torch, in which case you can do an extra thing. Sometimes your order cards will have torches on them, which is sort of a turn in lieu.
Yeah, so what you do is you take an
put it
action,
away.
and instead of doing something on the card,
No.
you take a torch,
Yeah.
and then you spend the torch on a later card. So
It's like betting on yourself.
yes, it's like saying, you know what, I'm not very good this turn, but
rubbish.
I bet future Quins he's going to pull it
It's
out the
gonna be
fire.
great. Sometimes your success does really hinge on the judicious use of a particular torch or scroll power at a certain point, and you have these turns, you frequently have these turns, where everything just comes together, everything slots into place, you make the right movement, you grab the right bricks, you build the right structure, and then you earn a bonus immediately that lets you do something else. And these turns come and they come again, and they make Porta Nigra feel so satisfying to play.
It's true. A lot of the time we compare games to clockwork, and you know sometimes that clockwork sits just beyond your comprehension, and you don't quite know how to play perfectly. But in Porta Nigra, you have those kind of turns all the time. You buy a brick, you use a white brick, you drop it, it's the perfect brick. Or you go here and then you build a thing and you trigger the bonus and you get a Roman, and then you use that Roman to build the final thing to spend your last coin, and these represent such an interesting contrast to those turns which happen just as often where you screw up and you have to go and you buy a bad brick, and then
Bad brick.
bad brick.
What are you going to do?
What you gonna do
when they come for you?
to put you in a building that's prison?
Well, damn. When I first looked at Porta Nigra, I was tentatively excited, and then when I first saw it in person, I was tentatively excited about it as well. And then when the box and manual came out and got opened, I started to lose all hope when the language got all desiccated and barren. I was ready
wait.
for this dry...
On bricks, as all the bricks are in fact grey, they only adopt colour by being placed in certain locations. Player turn 1, refill phase, subclause A, bricks. At the start of your turn, check the number of bricks in the brick market. If there are fewer than 7 bricks in total, you must refill the brick market. Example, at the beginning of her turn, Nicole checks the brick market and finds there are only 5 bricks.
So, but the thing is,
Nicole loves bricks.
and just like in real life, you can't judge a game by its box or by its manual. Porta Nigra is actually a lot more colourful than this. Just like in real life, ancient Rome is not about dusty ruins and, you know, stone and brick and whatever is there. Ancient Rome is colourful and it's full of life, it's vibrant, it's kind of slightly coy and it's playful and it has its puzzles like, you know, Roman mosaics or something.
It's kind of a shame.
Romance and...
Romance.
Romance.
I was just going to say that it's a shame that when things that are meant to be entertaining don't entertain you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So...
Did you know that Romans had no concept of homosexuality and only cared whether you gave or received?
Gave or received what?
I don't know. Bricks, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah. I'll see you later.
Yeah.